person on Facebook who wants to know if you guys, did you ever manage to get rid of the things that sets the mind ablaze? So yeah, we have Godessa in studio, but we only have two members. We have Bernie, Aman, and Shamima.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
I'm cool. EJ says what's up too.
Hi, EJ. Nice to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, it's like it's a dream come true for me. I've always been a fan of Godessa since, I don't know, like it's one of the first ever South African albums about this village.
Okay.
So yeah, and you guys won an award last year, December, South African Hip Hop Award. It's like an honorary award.
It's more like an honorary award. Yeah.
Okay. What did that mean for you?
That we're getting old.
That people are still thinking of us.
That's a good thing.
And appreciate our work.
That's a good
music,
thing.
So that's good. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch the award show, but how was how like receiving that award? Was it emotional?
It was trippy because we kind of missed the announcement like 3 times or something.
Yeah.
Shame, man.
What do you mean?
I know it's just typical of the kind of thing that would happen to us.
Okay.
But it was interesting. It's obviously a different experience, the Johannesburg hip hop scene as well. So, for one, checking out, what's happening in the Joburg hip hop scene right now was a big part of the experience of the awards. One of the cool things about it was meeting cats that we used to tour with, like Toomey and Slick and Label from Squatter Camp, and some of the old school cats who were really responsible for the kind of audience that hip hop has in Johannesburg and in SA right now. So it was cool reflecting on how far we've come in hip hop, and so that was really cool to be acknowledged in the kind of environment that exists in Joburg hip hop now, where we think that the new school cats have forgotten about foundation of what it's built on. How come Casper can win an award for filling up the dome, which is a remarkable achievement for hip hop so soon. In the last couple of years, an industry has been built that allows you to be able to sell 50,000 tickets for a hip hop show. We couldn't do that. I mean, Squatter Camp was one of the biggest acts touring just a couple of years ago, and they couldn't fill up that kind of scenes because the buying audience wasn't big enough for hip hop yet, and the commercial interest wasn't there. So that was, to be amidst that and still feel like you relevant and matter to the industry.
And also that, there was a lot of female representation besides us.
Yeah.
A lot of female MCs were nominated, and some of them won awards and things, so that was really cool.
That's dope. Okay. But then, so when it comes to like the actual music, are you guys fans of the music that's being made now in South Africa?
There's a lot of cool stuff in Joburg that I love, some of the artists I saw at the awards, for instance, are definitely guys that I've been listening to since I saw them perform. But obviously there's still a lot of replicated US style hip hop, which is always going to exist, I suppose, because even in Cape Town we do it as well, but it's on a really massive, flashy, unrealistic scale in Joburg.
Okay. It existed in your era, didn't it? I mean, I assume there was some guy like, okay, this cat sounds like KRS-One, and
well, I mean, we were all influenced by particular MCs, If you listen to Talib Kweli a lot, you're gonna sound a little bit like Kweli, but you're eventually gonna find your own style over time as well. One of the first shows we ever did with a live band was at the Jazz Festival. No other SA hip hop group had actually played at the Jazz Festival at that time. Wow. And that was our entrance into the live circuit, and that's why I said it was always striving to be more than just a hip hop group, but be appreciated and recognized and booked as a band, paid like bands were paid and work
That's important.
as musicians, basically. That's why.
Once was at Godessa Festival. That was a really nice show. It was packed to capacity, and yeah, it was just cool because we were able to work with all the artists that we were on tour with on the Rogue State of Mind project, and that was really nice to have everybody on stage with us.
And yeah, talking about a project like that, I mean, it was, would you say it was like essential to actually spread your music into what country were the other? Switzerland,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I mean, our aim wasn't to take over Switzerland. It was really, you know, we met a bunch of cool MCs around the country that we connected with, and it evolved into a recording project, you know. So the three of us, and we had Teba and Crosby join us on the tour. You know, we spent a long time recording the album, and it was a lot of MCs in 2 different countries, and a lot of different studios and producers. But they made the album possible, and then we were able to tour that album in Switzerland on the best stages that you could possibly ask for as a musician. Again, the live experience and the ability to perform to massive crowds that, you know, really wanna, you know. Oh my God, I'm seeing a Social Ills record lying over there.
It's mine.
I don't have a copy. Can I buy it from you?
You can autograph it from me. No, I'm gonna say this on air. That one is mine. I'm so sorry.
But I gotta say, you know, one of my favorite performances was a show we did at Pukkelpop Festival in Belgium. Mendoza and Cheesecop were on that tour with us as well. But we performed in this basement, sort of in sort of one of the smallest tents at the festival. But it was one of the liveliest, like, underground heavier. I mean, it's a massive tent still, but in comparison to the main stage, we weren't a big act at the show at all. And I remember Black Alicious performed before us, which was also pretty incredible that we were performing on that kind of level with those kind of US artists as well. And when we did our show, I think it was the first encore we ever had in our life, like at a big European festival, and we had an encore and we performed for like 15 minutes more. We were so exhausted when we were finished with our set, and we didn't really understand what was happening at first. And we went and we performed, and it was one of the best experiences of my life because I'd never seen people react to our music like that before, you know, and it blew me away. And in that moment I knew, like, I really knew we've got something.
This question is inevitable and it's a bit tired, but I still have to ask it. Like, you guys, the one that many women rapping at the time. So I'd just like to know, what was the experience like?
There were a few female MCs
Quite
back
a
then
few, man.
as well. There were a couple. I don't think that, I mean, we were fortunate in the sense that we were able to take it further because we had support from our families and things that enabled us to not depend on, you know, 9 to 5 kind of careers and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it was tough because obviously you need to be rhyming harder than the dudes. You need to bring it. But at the same time, you know, it gave us a lot of encouragement to be able to work twice as hard, you know, as the guys and get our stuff out there.
your music was like socially conscious, if I may, and I read somewhere that you guys are like really inspired by POC, and then so you just chose to go with that.
Well, I think we were all individually inspired by various different artists. Yes, for definite, people from South Africa would definitely be POC. I mean, we used to come here to Bush Radio in the first couple of months Godessa started, when Shaheen was still doing workshops and things like that. And I think that was a really vital part in
What we listen to.
yeah, what we listened to, and how we took our career further, you know.
And then like
Well, I believe the show and the radio station had like some part of that early history of Godessa.
Well, Shamima and EJ will work. You presented the Homer show at one point a while back, and then also EJ worked here for a couple of months as well. And then we attended the workshops, which was about emceeing and writing and other aspects of the music industry and stuff like that during our first couple of months of Godessa.
I believe you even sorry, just a button there, that you dedicated the show to Mr. Ibrahim. Was one of the he was station manager, and a founder. Okay.
I mean, he was very, you know, we had already formed by the time I was working here and EJ was working here, and he took an interest in, you know, he loved hip hop. That's one thing you gotta know about Abu. He loved hip hop, and through working with Shaheen, who used to host the show for many years and created the hip hop program that we attended here, he steered us in a direction where we could take ourselves seriously as a hip hop crew and not just be any other crew. You know, it's just a hobby, but really committing ourselves to the vision that we had with what the possibilities of the crew could be like, you know. And he gave us many opportunities.
One of the first ones was us going to the Netherlands.
Yeah, on the hip hop project, you know, and there were a lot of other artists involved on the hip hop project, but it really helped us to find out, you know, to figure out who we were and what we wanted to talk about. Yeah, so the show, we all grew up listening to the show, you know, when Shamil X, he first hosted the show. All through the years that Shaheen and Dre did the show. And I mean, obviously it was a big deal for me when I came to do the show with them, because I'd been listening to it for so many years and recording it on my cassette tape and calling in to rap on the show.
You even recorded a song here, right?
Yeah, we did. Which one was it?
Actually, it's a track that EJ and I recorded with Devious, with Shaheen. We recorded.
Yeah, wasn't it the globalization?
Yeah, like on some stuff like that. And that was an important track because, you know, we never got the chance to record more music with Devious. The big difference is I'm solo, so it's different not rapping with EJ and Bernie. So it took a long time. Hey?
All the three verses are yours now.
Exactly. That's hard, man. Because once I wrote my first solo full song, that I was like, cool, this is a song, this is a jam, this is going on the album and stuff. It took a long time to get to that point, to figure out who I was as an MC. And you know, she said earlier, we all had different influences. When we met, it wasn't like we all listened to the same thing and we were all like the same. We all had our own minds and things that we liked. And I really love a certain sound in hip hop that she perhaps doesn't love. So my music is very influenced by that. And in a crew, you don't really get to force your personal taste or personal opinion. You have to compromise. So now there's no compromising.
Okay.
And also I gotta kill all 3 verses, or I gotta kill the hook by myself. There's no EJ singing vocals. There's no Bernie doing some sarcastic poetic. You know what I'm saying?
So you can do a trap now.
Yeah, you know, and I love things. She knows what I'm talking about.
When I go back, I'm working with a couple of different bands and stuff.
Okay.
And one of the projects that I'm going to be working with is a brass ensemble, jazz. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
You know.
EJ is also doing some really cool stuff, you know. She's recording another album now. She's doing an intercontinental project with Madagascar, Reunion Island and Holland, where she's based now. You know, she's always working hard as well, traveling a lot, performing in different places. I think this will be her 4th album. No, her 3rd album.
Third, yeah.
Yeah, this will be her 3rd album now. And you know, she's again, like Godessa, you don't maybe see EJ perform around a lot in Cape Town and in SA, but she's performing all over the place. That's everywhere true. Else, you know, she's constantly busy. And that, yeah.
I think the last time I saw her perform was at POC at the Jazz Festival. That was sick. You guys there?
Oh, yeah.
You saw that?
When the power went out. Yeah, we actually we actually did the reunion show the following a couple of days after the Jazz Festival. We did the POC All Elements Jam. So EJ performed with Prophets of the City. Was really dope.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that.
Fanny, sorry, you also perform quite regularly in Switzerland and other places as well. How has traveling and performing internationally changed the way you work? You also mentioned that it has changed or given you time to practice your recording techniques, opportunities you perhaps didn't have over here.
Definitely.
So how's that changed your career for you?
Because I have access now to my own studio that side, I am able to take more time for my work. And also I have a great bunch of producers working with me, and just friends in the music industry who are constantly like, they will tell me straight up, that's whack. And, you know, and I had a couple of fights, but you know, that's needed. You can't just have everyone telling you, yeah, you know, you dope and whatever. So in that sense, you know, being able, and I know, you know, not everybody has that luxury, and it really is a luxury. But when you do have that luxury, you know, you definitely should exploit it as much as you can. And then also the work ethic, I think, is also maybe slightly different. You know, it's quite expensive over there, so, you know, time is money and that kind of thing. So when you take out time, invest time in your music and things, you really need to be serious about it and things. And then also something that Shamima mentioned today in a post was the time issue, which is
I was just about to ask.
Which is the issue I still struggle with. But that's, you know, definitely one of those things that's essential as well. Whether it's, you know, overseas or here as well, because people tend to not take you seriously if you don't act professionally in that sense.
We really had to learn a lot of hard lessons, you know, and especially in Europe, because there's so many bands on tour. You gotta be on time at a festival, and you know, you gotta be on point, you gotta know what you're doing, because it's so many bands rolling in and out. So the discipline of that kind of lifestyle is really hectic, you know.
rejects the nonsense in common with the falseness. My senses masked with the pretense of all the options.